one time, Mini enjoyed the title of King of the Premium Subcompacts, not because they were much better than anybody else, but because there really wasn't anybody else. Then Fiat joined the fight when they launched their reinvented 500, and in 2010, Audi gave us the A1. Initially offered only as a two-door, they've now given the car a bit more practicality, ironically, by putting sport in the name. This is the A1 Sportback. No bigger than a regular A1, it features 2 extra doors and an appeal to those people who prefer to not deal with moving seats in order to load passengers. Our 1.4 Ambition spec test car is 7,500 Rand more expensive than its two-door sibling, which means each rear door will cost you an extra 3,750 Rand. Not that you have a choice of only fitting one extra door at the back. For that kind of oddness, you'll have to ask Mini about their clubman. When I first saw the A1, I wasn't a fan. For me, it was let down by a rear end that looked a little bit droopy. But over time, it has grown on me, and it looks particularly good with the LED lights. It has a very grown-up edge, this car, and the look gives you some idea as to what the car is all about. It's also one of those cars that wears its dimensions really well. It is small, but all the elements fit together perfectly. The exterior customization options include obvious things like extra plastic bits and different wheels, but our test car features a different color roof. 5,000 Rand well spent, even if you have to tell your friends the color combination is Daytona Grey and Samoa Orange. The thing I really like about the A1 is that Audi haven't gone the cute route. Yes, it's compact, but it still looks, well, serious, like a proper car. It offers something with a bit more substance to those who don't want a car that carries labels like cute and funky. So if the look is serious, the ride setup really isn't messing around. Audi built the A1 to take on the Mini, but they didn't try to beat Mini at their own game. They've built a car with a completely different character. It's a lot more sophisticated, this car. And I don't mean that from a technological sense, I mean it in terms of what it gives the driver. And what it gives the driver is a very well-balanced setup. The upside to sophistication, a consistently smooth and comfortable drive under normal conditions. The downside, it doesn't like anything other than normal conditions. Where the Mini will be a handful in a good way, the Audi will feel a little less capable, a little bit more nervous when you really start driving enthusiastically. The ESP and the electronic diff lock will make sure you stay on the road, unless you do a really good job of breaking the laws of physics. But this car just doesn't really like being pushed too hard. More testament to its cool factor being based on sophistication rather than being the party animal. The 7-speed S-tronic gearbox is also a bit of a party pooper. Despite having paddles on the steering wheel, it's not the most sporty version of Audi's dual-clutch transmission. The littlest of Audis features an engine design that is fast becoming very fashionable, the 1.4 Turbo. In here, it puts out 90 kilowatts and 200 Newton meters, delivered in a way that lets you enjoy good power from virtually anywhere in the rev range. Even if you employ a generally flat-footed driving style, you should still get decent fuel returns. How do I know that? Well, this car's done just under 2,300 kilometers since it hit the road, and it's averaging around 8.7 liters per 100. And that's in a phase of its life where everything is still loosening up, so if anything, it should get even better. That figure is no doubt helped by the car's standard energy recuperation and start-stop technologies. Audi's official fuel consumption figure is 5.2 liters per 100 Ks, and even though they measure that under the most ideal of conditions, it's not inconceivable that the real-world figure would get close to that. And so, onto the final element of the A1 Sportback, the interior. If you're a regular viewer of the show or a regular reader of any sort of motoring magazine, when the subject of Audi interiors comes up, you expect to hear the same thing. They are the best there is. And it's no different in the A1. Everything is very well designed and very well executed. I just wish it was a little bit more exciting. This is the one part of the car that could afford to be a little less serious. It has great design and everything is made out of top materials, but given the market it's playing in, it deserves a little more personality. This Ambition model is equipped to the same level as any other Audi, with climate control, MMI with optional sat-nav, sport seats, multifunction steering wheel and so on, but a bit more colour would be nice. As for the Sportback's extra doors, they allow easier access to a rear compartment that offers decent space, even for taller people. Head and legroom are acceptable for those of a slightly bigger than average build, although they'd probably want to stop more than once on a road trip. Boot space? The only thing you really need to know is that the only car in this class with a bigger boot is a Citroën C3. The A1 does have its shortcomings. It's got a nicely designed but fairly dull interior, and it's a little short on good dynamics when you really start pushing on. But it is unlike anything else in its class. It has its own unique character, and this Sportback version now has extra practicality without taking anything away from what is a very good drive. The 1400 turbo motor has decent power for everyday applications, and although it can generate a fair bit of go, the rest of the A1 package can feel a little less than composed. It is a top-class package offering real sophistication in a market dominated by gimmicks and cuteness. The interior could do with a bit more excitement though.